Alright, Shalom.
Shalom.
First off, I'm going to start off by saying all praises, honor, and glory due to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash.
That's right. That's all praises to the world calls God whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh, Ba'ashem, and in the name of Yahushai, and the home, you got the Son. I also want to say double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and mercy to the Lord elect. Preaching this word of truth is sincerely with the brothers of the Great Millstone, Arizona camp with another video, another week to come together and prophesy down for all of America and Babylon the Great. Right, so you know, the U.S. economy is going down. Right, this is a place that lives so deliciously. That said in her heart, she shall never sit a widow, and she'll see no sorrow. Or more and more sorrows are piling up. Right, you got there's an article that came out saying there was 21 more countries trying to join the BRICS nations. You even have France that's sitting there telling them they want autonomy from the U.S. You have more and more store closings in America. More and more people are expecting, they're calling it debt and a recession. So it's like a deep depression and a recession put together, right? Hyperinflation is about to hit because now more and more countries don't want to hold U.S. debt. So all those dollar bills are going to come back and the price of them is going to be worth nothing. So all economic hell is coming because what? The Lord is causing the money to fail, right? The thing that made America so great was that money, and now that shit's starting to fall, right? You got that money fell? Is that Genesis?
Yeah, I got it. This is in the book of Genesis 47:15. It says,
Actually, get Ecclesiastes 3 first. That which had been, or 1 and 9. Is that 1 and 9? That which had been is that.
so I got it.
Because what happened in the past, you gotta, this is what the scriptures tell you, seek out the book of the Lord and read, right? Because when you go into the book of the Lord, you see, okay, what happened in the past, you correlate it to now, man. We're at the beginning of the fall of the kingdom, right? Go ahead, what?
This is from the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1 and verse 9, and it says, the thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that thing which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun.
No new thing. So the things that happened in the past is happening. My brother was about to get at in Genesis. The thing that happened in the past, which is about to be done in this time, man. And it's going to outshine any other time. You got to go.
Genesis 47, I'll start at 14. It says, and Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the corn which they bought. And Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. And when the money failed in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan,
you see, the money failed in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, man. Right? You can basically say Egypt was the main capital of Egypt, of Canaan. Right? So America, the money's going to fall in America, the money's going to fall over there in Europe. Everything is about to go down. You got people in Europe right now sitting there saying that they're toning down to eating one meal a day because it's too expensive. Right? And this is a rich-ass Edomite empire. Obviously, the sorrows are starting to come, man. Right? Sit on that.
For you, so the money is going down, man, because honestly, so you know the whole Silicon Valley Bank that crashed down, other banks they were doing this week was called First Public Bank. I did a little article on it by NPR, and it reads, it was a brutal day on Wall Street for the First Public Bank, as investors sold off shares as fast as they can in light of financial distress earlier this week. On Monday, First Public released its earnings reports for the first 3 months of the year, and the results stunned Wall Street. It said the California-based lenders said it lost more than 40% of its deposits in March, as customers moved billions of dollars somewhere else elsewhere. So hey, the money is failing. They try to the money's going to do more. So they try to say, Silicon Valley, that was a one-time thing, this and that, right? Well, more and more banks are closing. It shows that truly this money is coming down, man. Yeah. This empire is truly, you ain't got money to spend anywhere because hyperinflation. Like Venezuela, where they're moving barrels and barrels of cash just to buy a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, Hey, well, they say that the Silicon Valley situation was just a one-time thing and everything. But what did the scripture say? It says, it says, they shall say peace and safety.
Yeah.
They're saying, oh, it's all right, man. We're good, man. This and that. And wow, bro, I had the scripture, but it just escaped my mind, bro. So.
Hey, if I can say too, what's gonna happen? Just like what happened with Silicon Valley Bank, they sat there and as soon as they saw the bank failing, the government took over the bank. So that's what they're gonna do with the rest of these banks. As soon as one falls, it's all right. We gotta come in and manage it till they have the full control over all the banks, and then that currency switch is gonna be nothing.
Yeah, that's why.
Hey, I think.
That's part of their plan as far as the NWO. Because when SVB went down, I think it got bought by Citizens. And eventually, like the brother said, more banks are going to collapse, and it's going to be forced to go into this so-called one world currency, which is in the scriptures, which is that mark. And that's why, like the brothers mentioned before the video, these Walmarts are being shut down. Not just Walmart, but some Targets are being shut down. Some Macy's are being shut down. Some Victoria's Secrets are being shut down. All these big places where you can store a lot of people and a lot of things, are being shut down. Which you gotta ask yourself, like when Esau shuts down business, it's not for no reason, right? When he shuts down, a way of commerce, it's for a bigger plan. Like Apostle Gabar was going into, I saw a video today on the back of the dollar, man, with the pyramid, with the all-seeing eye, man. What does that represent? Okay, if you look in the days of old, when you look at the Tower of Babel, this is the Tower of Babel all over again, man, where they try to make all the nations one. But the Lord likes separation, because even between, Israelites, there's certain things that Judah does, and certain things that Issachar does, certain things that Ephraim does, and certain things that Levi does. Like Levi was the priest. That's why when you look in the land, when you do a land chart, you don't see a land for Levi. Because Levi was in it. Levi, you had some Levi in Judah. You had some Levi where Issachar dwelt. You had Levi everywhere because they were the priests. But they had certain things and certain jobs that they did. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, I think you had to be a Levite in order to touch the Ark of the Covenant, if I'm not mistaken. So that goes to show you that it's certain different things, it's certain different jobs that even the men of the Lord are assigned to.
Well, it says in the scripture that the Lord has a body, and that body has different offices, right?
Yeah.
So there's certain, positions that brothers are going to hold in the truth. Man. But going back to the subject of the world economy, what they got coming up in July, that Fed now.
Oh yeah.
And that's basically going to set up to control all the electronic transfer of money. The way I heard about it, you buy something from Amazon, it's going to go to the Fed now system first, and then to Amazon. And they're going to have the ability to deny or approve your purchase.
Yeah.
So that's just the beast system, being set up, man. And that's going to be forced upon these banks to accept that, man.
Yeah, because there's going to be no more Zelle. I don't know if brothers are familiar,
Yeah,
but Zelle, right? Fed now is going to replace Zelle.
Yeah.
And that gives the government ultimate control of.
Yeah, they know what you're doing, what you're doing,
Right. Not just that, locations too. Where your location. That's like the chip before the chip.
Yeah.
Just with them knowing everything that you purchased, and then them giving you saying, oh, you can't purchase that, or we don't want you to go purchase that. That's giving them ultimate control of the money. And what are these people going to follow? They're going to follow the money because that's all American people understand.
The bag. And then it's cold too because, right, people have been waiting for like the last 2-3 years for them to let this student loan forgiveness go through, and now that now is going to come out in July right after the stall and payments on it is coming out. So a lot of these young niggas, man, they gonna be fucking riding in the streets when they see that they fucking taking $500-600 from them.
Yeah.
And they gave it to these other companies. They gave the debts to these other companies. So, right, that whole being able to defer your loans and stuff like you used to do before, man, I don't think that shit's gonna be the same way, man. Right, so people are gonna be going broke, homeless, starving just because of this, and the Fed now is gonna be there. They can help you out.
because it's gonna eliminate the, what they call capitalism, pretty much. You know, basically the freedom or the ability to make as much money as you want, man. You know, so it's gonna put a restriction on people trying to be rich, man. Because they gotta report all those things to the government now. All the government's gonna be monitoring all those things, man. You know, they're gonna monitor every transaction you make. You know, they're gonna question every transaction you make, man. Ultimately, for the speaker say that he wants full control of everything, including your finances, man. Other than that saying by the Rothschilds, I don't care if it makes dollars.
Yeah.
He controls the gold, controls the laws, something to that effect, man.
Yeah, they want control of the money. They don't care who controls the law. You know, because people will break the law to get to the money.
Yeah. They've been taught to. Right? They've been taught to. Can you get Revelation 6 and 6?
Yeah.
And then could somebody grab Isaiah 36 and 6? I want Isaiah first.
So Isaiah 36 and verse 6. And it reads, Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it.
And like the brothers were saying, that everybody's been chasing a bag. Well, pretty soon the bag's not going to be worth anything. So all the chasing you did is going to be obsolete because you put your trust in the wrong things.
I got a picture of that. So James 5:1 says, Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, the money which shall be offense against you, and it shall eat your flesh as with fire. They have heaped treasure together for the last days, man. So basically, money, monetary, all of this money's gonna be working for you.
Yeah.
You know, they're gonna have what's that social credit?
Yeah, social credit scores.
Social credit scores, you know what I'm saying?
ESG scores for companies. Which ESG scores, man, bro, your company will go under automatically because they're going to put up, basically they put up stipulations and they say you can get this loan if you fulfill these things.
Right.
So that could be, they'll tell them, hey, for you to stay open, right, and a person above the company might be some like, oh, even like Christian, they'll be like, you can get this loan if you give everybody the chip.
Right.
And he who refuses, business is gone. That loan is gone. If business is insolvent and they come in and take everything, it's going to be like that for a lot of companies, man. That's how they're going to push the world to make it. That's why Scripture said, cause it all, both small and great, rich and poor. Well, that's how he's going to get the rich, and there's a way he's going to get the poor.
Right. Bring them on.
Yeah.
You know, but everybody's going to be subject to that.
Yeah.
Because what? They have a God-like complex. They want you to serve them instead of serving the Lord. That's why the Lord said, you know, what you going to choose, man? You know, when you go to Isaiah 31 and 1, or Isaiah 30 and 1, it tells you, those who trusted in the shadow of Egypt. The modern day person, they trust in the shadow of America, because Egypt is the modern day America. Right? They trust in America because it's all they know and it's all that they want to know. But even when you go to Numbers 14, you had our people back then trusting in ancient Egypt, that were talking shit and wanted to go back to ancient Egypt after they seen the mercies of the Lord, man. You know, so that goes to show you now that the Lord was to show the miracles again. Half you niggas still gonna believe, man. You know, because after the Red Sea, after that party, after the Lord did the miracles in the wilderness, after he fed us and all that, you still had niggas that was talking shit. You still had niggas that was saying, you know, let's go back to the land of Egypt. At least we had this, we had that. Did the Lord bring us to the wilderness just to kill us?
Well, the Lord said, right, the same word was preached unto them, but it did not be profit them because it wasn't mixed with faith. You know? Right? That's why faith is a treasure. Right? There's people that have stored up treasures before this shit pops off. And there's people that have stored treasures in the world, so when the treasures in the world fell, they have nothing else. And brothers grind, brothers hustle, try to put their money together, scrap something together, but ultimately, we're part of the world stock market, or we're part of the Heavenly Father's stock market. So we put more emphasis on the Heavenly Father's stock market, and that does with faith, charity, right? So if you're pouring that, and shit pop out, you're gonna be poor, you're gonna be hella poor, man.
Hey, Wallace, you know, I'd add to that list, man. You know, all the time that you sacrifice, the scoffing that you take from them, that you take from the world, man, because people see us, you know, and they think hella bad about us, you know, all of that, man. Because that's all putting away our pride of, you know, of how we want to be seen and everything like that. But we're saying F everything else, man. Hey, what's to the, you know, to the Lord, man. And what's that one of the songs that says, who shall arise up for me?
Against the evildoers.
And well, against the evildoers, you know? You know, it's not the men who are teaching and preaching this truth.
You know, the Revelation?
6:6, yeah, it says, Revelation 6, verse 6, it says, and I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine.
You see? So the measure of wheat for a penny, and the measure of barley for a penny goes into the wheat and the barley represents what? Your victuals. That penny, when you go back to the Roman Empire, a penny was used as a day's labor. Right? So when they say a measure of wheat for a penny, that means you're only gonna get 2 cups of flour for a whole day's labor.
I can read it and then not read because it kind of backs up what you said. It says, Revelation 6:6, and NIV, it says, then I heard what sounded like a voice among the 4 living creatures saying, 2 pounds of wheat for a day's wages, and 6 pounds of barley for a day's wages, and do not damage the oil and the wine.
You damn near work just enough to eat for that day.
Yep.
That's what it's gonna be like. People are gonna go to work just enough to eat. They're not gonna have money for bills. They're not gonna have fucking money for fun, pleasure, buying shit. All these women that buy a bunch of shit on Amazon and stuff, that shit's gonna be finito.
Yep.
Right? And then everybody's just gonna be scrounging around, man, trying to make ends meet. And that's when all type of crime is gonna shoot up, bro.
Yeah.
Because people are gonna get tired, man. They lived in a way that allowed them to be gluttons, undisciplined in their finances, right? And to have that taken away, people are gonna snap. People are gonna justify themselves to do things, and that's when Revelation, I think it's 15, comes up when it tells you that there should be sedition among men and invading one another. This is what it looks like when the economy collapses. Right? And I'm gonna start looking up them Great Depression videos, because I know there's a lot of stories that are gonna come off of the back of that, man.
Well, it's something, like in school they got showed us, you know, we had people lined up in soup lines, bro.
Nah, not that shit. I don't wanna see that shit. I wanna see the stories.
Oh,
The person counts, because they're gonna put the soup line out there. Act like America was hella civilized. But what about when the Edomites knew that everybody's fucked up, so going to the nigga neighborhood, they can do whatever the fuck they want, come back, go right back to their wife. The speakeasies and shit, all that stuff, because I believe that the what is it called? When the prohibition coincided at the same time as the Great Depression.
I think the Dust Bowl happened during that time too, so all the crops were just completely all fucked up in the Midwest. So.
Yeah. And this is the time we're in, man. It's about to be misery upon misery upon misery, man. There's a scripture where it tells you that it should be grievous to hear the report thereof, man.
And people found out how banks work too back then.
Yep.
Because they ran to try to get their money at the bank, but then came to find out wasn't no money in the bank.
Yep.
So people go, yeah, where my money, where my 20 stacks at? Where my 40 grand at? Where this at? Where that? Oh shit, we loaned that to such and such. You know, and then, even then, I found out too, you know, they don't just take your money and loan it, but the Federal Reserve will print more money for the banks. But the more money you print, the less value it has. Right? The more money it is out, because people don't realize, man, that little fiat dollar, it means nothing. You can't eat it. You can't, it's not a seed. You can't grow food out of it. It's a measure to buy certain things. Real wealth is gold and silver. But on top of that, real wealth is land, cattle, stock, right? Things of that nature, right?
Things that people actually traded with back in the old times, man.
Yeah,
You know, people traded land, traded cattle, traded sheep, traded goats and all that.
not the fiat dollar, man.
So Habakkuk 2, and you have Revelation 72.
I got it.
Is it 17 or?
17.
Yeah. It says, Revelation 2 and 5 says, yeah, because he transgressed it by one, he was a proud man. Right? You get that revelation?
This is Revelation 17, I'll start at verse 1, and it says, And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication.
You gotta know what a great whore is, though, right? Because people will read that and be like, well, this is talking about, you can't be, it's a parable, it's a similitude. That only, you gotta have a spirit to understand that great whore is America, man. Yeah. And to prove that, when you go to, not Revelation, well, it's in Revelation 2, but when you go to Ruth, the 4th chapter, it talks about sheep. That sheep that's going to be burnt with fire. But that whore represents America, man. Yeah. Go ahead. Is there more on it?
Yeah, it says, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
You see? So that was the one who had food, right? And what was the wine, man? The philosophies, how they do business. Because before, every nation had what? Gold, silver. Esau came around, he came up with five dollars, right? It tells you, oh, this money is backed by speculation of oil and all that. So, so all these nations have bought into this plan, and now what? The nations are angry, right? They're lashing out. They're breaking off from the beast system. They're trying to do it their own way. They're trying to set their own currencies and put themselves in a position to be the next rulership. Right? So back in Habakkuk 2 and 5 it says, yeah, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long? To him that ladeth himself with thick clay, right? And that thick clay is starting to catch up, man. Because he's used debt to make money, and he's printed more debt to act like he has all the substance. So now that debt bubble is about to pop, man. Everybody's over leveraged. It's only a matter of time, man. That's something.
Senator, going at that real quick. There's an article, this is like the first thing my news article, and it reads, this is from NBC News, and it reads, the Republican control of the House voted Wednesday to pass a bill to raise the debt limit, slash spending, and roll back key presidents. As Joe Biden basically the raising back the debt limit. Because basically they reached it, they got to the top, and they're like, let's increasing more. Yeah. So hey, like, and honestly, this has been going on for a while. You know, it seems like, all right, your chicken farms are burning down, your farms are getting crushing on fire, bro. The debt limit's going up, banks are closing, all the properties are happening in front of your eyes. It's not a when, not if, but when, honestly, man. That's one thing on that.
I think I saw something today where it says a bank had $100 billion worth of deposits pulled out of it. $100 billion, golly, bro. That means everybody's trying to hold on to their money. So if you're seeing these things and you're still talking, because Jake is still talking about, you get LLC, take that LLC, you get an RRI, you get an RRI, you get NEI. Niggas is still talking about that shit.
And you get $500,000 from
American Express. Niggas is still talking about that shit. That shit is through. It's fucking over. These niggas ain't talking about getting right with your maker before these things come. Right? It's fucking over, man. The U.S. economy is through. The hope in Babylon is fucking through. Right? And if you put hope in this place, you're going to be disappointed. It says, so shall the strength of Pharaoh be to your confusion, man. You got it, brother.
Actually, I was switching like real quick.
Okay.
It's Isaiah 3. That's on verse 2, and reads, that walk to go down to Egypt, and have not asked at my help, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
Hey, that's what still, niggas are still doing it, man. You got bitches going online sitting there saying they want a six-figure nigga. Yeah. Them niggas are disappearing right now, bro. They ain't got no money coming in. Prospects are going down. Productivity is down. So what? They're gonna start with we're in April, so quarter one's through. They just came up with those numbers. By the time quarter two comes around, because remember last year they had 3 quarters of negative GDP already, and that was supposed to be a recession, and they changed the definition. So this is a 4th quarter of deficits, and now when the 2nd quarter of this year comes around, it's a fucking wrap, bro. After June, July, when they start announcing those numbers, it's a fucking wrap for a lot of people.
It's June.
It's June. Here's the microchip. That's what they're gonna say. Here's the microchip, and it's gonna be advertised to everybody, bro.
Yeah, rich or poor, free and bond. That's what the scripture says. But the scripture say what? If you take it, really the heathen, I mean, it's not, whether you take it or not, it really don't matter. But for Israelites, you take it, you're submitting to the heathen, and you're submitting to the so-called
Why are you
white
crying
man.
out?
Yeah, so you're going to be destroyed if you take it.
Scripture said when a virgin was in the field, if she didn't cry out, when a man tried to force himself, because this is Esau trying to force himself upon the woman of the Lord, which is the Israelites. If she didn't cry out when the man tried to force herself, and she was betrothed, which were betrothed to the Heavenly Father and His Son, right? What? That woman is supposed to be stoned. Because she didn't cry out. And you got niggas sitting there telling you, look, just take it. It's not the chip. That's not the mark of the beast. It's a philosophy. Well, because the niggas didn't cry out, what? You're going to be judged as a woman that break wedlock. How do you judge her? You stone that bitch. And it said, what in the Revelation? It says, it said it was casting into like a great millstone. So that great millstone's coming to stone some niggas, bro. Yeah, bro.
This verse 3 here says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion.
So the trust in, hey, people are gonna be fucking distraught when they 401ks that they've been putting in double money in there. They've been seeing her moving the money from here to there. And they've been making sure they have $250,000 before they fucking retire. People are gonna be distraught when they see that shit go down to zero. The money in the bank account's gone, the money in their savings account's gone. Right? They raised the interest rate, so the people that got adjustable rate mortgages that put all their fucking mindset into this world, you're gonna be distraught when all that shit's gone, man. It's gonna be confusion. Right? It's gonna be perplexity. Right?
And the ones that are gonna feel it most is you, Jake, man.
Yeah.
Starting with your entertainers. Because in that time of trouble, who the fuck's gonna give about what kind of shit you putting out, man? Who's gonna care about, you going on tour? Ain't gonna be no time for that falling from. That season's gonna be over with, man. So, you entertainers, you Jake's entertainers, you're gonna go right back into poverty, man. And you're gonna be the first. You're ultimately all sellouts, but you're gonna be the first one to trust in Egypt, like the scripture says. Right? Got this Isaiah 24:8 says, the mirth of terror ceases, the noise that rejoice in this, the joy of the heart ceases, man. So that's going to be done with, man. All the entertainment, all of the music, because that's what Jake invests a lot of money into. And that's what he tries to get rich off, man. The entertainment industry, that's pretty much Jake's way out, so-called to make it, man. So that's gonna cease, man. The grinders are gonna cease, the work's gonna cease. Ain't gonna be nothing out here for you people anymore, man. Like it was going into it. It's just gonna be a situation where you're just in total desperation just to make it to your next meal.
Yeah.
And you're going to be crying out to the Lord, and that time when the Lord's going to come.
Yeah.
And the Lord is going to be there for you, man.
Yeah.
And you're going to shut the book. That's it, man. That's why it's going to talk about store your treasures up in heaven, man. Treasures, what with the treasures, man? Investments. And we don't invest in this place. That's why Micah 2:10 said it's not your rest, man. It shall destroy you with a sword of destruction. To trust in Egypt is to basically to seal your downfall, man.
This is from the book of 2nd Ezra 15 and verse 14. And it says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among them, and invading one another, they shall not, it says, they shall not regard their kings nor princes. See, and that's how fed up people are gonna get. You know, is they're not gonna care about who's in the seat of power, because those people in the seat of power aren't going to be able to guarantee, if their kids are safe or if they can eat. You know, it says in the course of their actions it shall stand in their power. It says a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. So that just shows you how much control that these devils are going to come down with, man. Because it talks about in the book of Revelations, that this devil's going to come down with great wrath, man.
Prove that. I mean, the video is of these Walmart shutting down. You have military trucks at these Walmarts and these places. What does that mean? You know, and I got that definition for its edition on Google. It says, conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch. It says, some of the synonyms, it says rebellion, revolt, insurrection, rioting.
And they're doing that right now, man. I sent out, I know that thumbnail, Three Brothers Off, but I sent out that video, the thumbnail, bro.
Oh yeah, man.
But you had them Jake sitting there trying to lynch it, fucking Edomite in Chicago, bro. And then a bunch of other shit's been going on. So this is what it is. People rising up. They can't afford shit. And as more and more people aren't able to afford shit, it's gonna get more and more desperate. So Judah's gonna be a terror to them to them round about.
Right.
It was Judah getting roused up, man.
Yeah,
Just look at the LA riots, man.
Yeah.
When Judah got roused up, man.
Yeah, the police didn't even go in the, I have family members in that shit, The police didn't even, they didn't even go and do nothing.
Yeah, you have more action to do.
Yeah, it's, when the police will go in there, they'll get hit with shit and they'll back up, but they let the riot go for like a couple of days, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I mean? There was certain parts where, Jake, like I think in Inglewood, Jake, was holding up, arms and all that, because I guess the majority of black stores were in Inglewood at the time. But it goes to show you that, when the masses of people was getting down like that, there's nothing that 911 can do.
A perfect example of that, bro. Last night I was watching a movie. It's called World War Z.
Oh, yeah.
And so the dude went to the store, and the dude pulled out a gun and tried to shoot him, and so he put up his rifle, popped the dude in the head. The cop saw him do it, and so the cop, he walked towards him, and so the dude put his hands up, and the cop walked right by him and grabbed some baby food and shit, and walked out the store.
Yeah, because it's not going to matter in there.
It's not gonna fucking.
It's not going to matter. Because the cops are going to drop their badges to protect their family.
Yeah.
And another thing too, like I was telling my demon last night, you're going to see the importance of a man, but not just a man, but a man of the Lord in that time.
Yeah.
Lord willing, we be those men. Because
It says that
Man should be a part of the story.
Yep, and it says that, man, if I could say it, 7 women shall take hold of one man.
Isaiah 4:1.
There you go.
Also, he's gonna make a man like fine gold, man.
Yeah.
Fine gold, man, like the
That
gold
is-
wedge
it's
gold.
a man of the Lord is gonna be a rare commodity.
Yeah.
That's what you're gonna be seeking, man.
Out of nowhere, you're gonna see him pray, just like in what you would call it? Look at Eli. She saw him praying. What is that? They gonna do it too. So they gonna see a brother taking an aid, man. You go over here.
And
They gonna come in there and be like, what? Yahweh shot? Bro,
Gotcha.
they'll be like, shit, I found something here. It's gonna be like that, bro.
And if you peep in the book of Eli too, he was calm for the majority of those situations because he had the spirit.
Yeah.
He was even, when he ran into intruders, he was like, hey man, let me go. If y'all don't let me go, then we're gonna have to get down. And there was a scene where he was slicing and dicing their ass up.
The ashes.
Yeah. Yeah,
He's getting down, man. That's all I got, man.
Hey, I got one real quick, just to, back up the point, man, that, that a brother or a true man of the Lord, whose true name is Yahweh, is going to be okay in that day when you people are just completely, utterly broken down, financially, physically, and mentally. This is 2 Ezra 2 and verse 26. It says, as for the servants whom I have given thee, there shall not one of them perish, for I will require them from among thy number. It says, be not weary, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance. You know, and it goes on to say, it says, the heathen shall envy thee, but they shall be able to do nothing against thee, saith the Lord. It says, verse 29, it says, my hands shall cover thee, so that thy children shall not see hell. So these are the scriptures that the true men of the Lord are going to have in their minds, you know, and so that, you know, because the scriptures tell you to gird up the loins of thy mind. So this is how you gird up the loins of your mind, man, is you study and you know, and you root yourself in these scriptures, you know. That's why it says in Isaiah 33:6, you know, it says that your wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. Wisdom and knowledge. This is true wisdom. This is true knowledge right here, man. So that's going to be your stability, and you people are going to be unstable as hell, man. You know, and you know, plus you're going to make all types of what's the word, man? Of I can't say it, man. Of irrational types of decisions that are going to get you killed. Irrational as hell, but you people are going to be bugged the hell out, man.
This is Isaiah 65:12. It says, therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter. Because when I called, you did not answer. And how did the Lord call? Through his men. That's why when you hear this truth and you understand it, right, and I see this planet and it's growing, you have a responsibility now. You know? Like for us, like when we heard it, and we didn't go out to the highways and byways, it was better if we didn't hear it. You know? It says, because when I called, you did not answer. And a lot of people don't understand that, man. A lot of people don't get it. They think we just out there because we're ultimately mad at America, but we fear the Lord, man. You know? It says, because when I called, you did not answer. And when I spake, you did not hear. And how does the Lord speak? He speaks to his men. You can read that in 2 Ezra 15 chapter. Okay, it's 15:1. It says, but did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that wherein I delight not. And what do you people chose? You chose the way of this world, which the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Job 9:24, which means that the earth is wicked. So you chose wickedness over the Lord. Man. It says 13, it says, therefore thus saith the Lord, Yahweh, behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. So in the times to come, right, the Lord's servants are going to eat, man. Because what? Scripture say what? If the Lord is not unrighteous, forget our labor of love. Okay? It says, behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. So when you see brothers doing videos like this and the decline of America gets us excited, it's because of what? Prophecy is coming to pass. Right? And the more this declines, right, the closer we are to the kingdom. Lord willing, we be those men. It says, behold, my servants shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart. Ye shall howl for vexation of spirit, and ye shall leave your name for a curse unto my chosen, for the Lord Yahweh shall slay thee, and call his servants by another name. So the point basically was in 13 and 14. You know, if you ain't putting in the work now, then you can't hope to have salvation in the time.
So what was that from? Was it called law?
How Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem HaKadosh,